Did you experience damage to your home or business from Hurricane Irma? Don't wait. The deadline to file an insurance claim is September 10th, 2020. Call the pros at East Coast Public Adjusters. 855-GET-ECPA. That's 855-GET-ECPA.
It is time now for the Hialeah Park Sports Investment segment. We do it every Thursday. We bring on a handicapper so we can talk about the biggest games going on over the weekend. And obviously the AFC and NFC championship games are on. And we want to get into that, talk a little bit about what's going on. You want to get an edge on that. Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports is always kind enough to join us now on the show. And let's talk a little action here. Let's see if we got Lee. Follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Paramount Sports, and go to the website, ParamountSports.com. Lee, are you there?
I'm here.
It's a beautiful thing, my man. So what'd you think? Did it all work out the way you thought it would over the weekend with the divisional games?
Anyone who tells you that they had Baltimore losing is lying. So I think some people thought there might be a close game there, but the score and the way it happened was absolutely, almost mind-boggling. So sometimes it happens, the team's off for that week and they come back, and it wasn't just Lamar Jackson. That team was flat, and Tennessee brought it. And then the other two games, the Houston to be leading 24-0, and I have the other side. I'm thinking, okay, well, that's a loss, but they came back there. So
Bill O'Brien should be fired. Fake punt.
That was well. He did say afterwards he thought he needed 50 points, but under no circumstances leading 24-7 on your own 31-yard line do you ever try a fake punt. Just out of the question. If you're at midfield, maybe your opponent's 38, 40, 42-yard line, okay, I can get it. You're being aggressive, but not in that situation at all. And that changed. As soon as they pulled it within 10, you just sensed that Houston was done. You could just watch their body language. So how he's not fired yet is the $64,000 question.
Yeah, to me, that's the part that just was absolutely baffling. Clemson, LSU, how did you make out on that one?
Good. So I was 3-2 overall in the NFL, and was lucky, obviously, to win the Green Bay game. It comes down to that 2-point conversion. If you have 4 games, you're always going to have one game that's decided by one play. So that went our way. And then I had LSU the whole way. I had actually played it at 3.5, and I was doubting myself. I got to be honest. That Monday, everyone is picking Clemson. Everyone's got Clemson also on the money line. They're sprinkling it half and half pretty much, and I'm saying, wow, maybe I'm just reading this wrong, because I do use a lot of stats and analytics, but my eye test told me that this LSU team was special. I thought that Joe Burrow, who had not had a bad game, was not going to have a bad game here. And that was the case. But, when they're down 17-7, I'm thinking they're in trouble. How often does Clemson give up a 17-7 lead and lose by more than a touchdown? I can't remember the last time. So LSU came through, and you saw that Joe Burrow and his receivers, which are incredible. The Clemson receivers did have trouble late in the season getting a lot of separation, and then those DBs for LSU, I think, were underrated. I think I wouldn't say they were bored, but let's just say they rose to the occasion against Clemson.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm with you there. And by the way, you want to follow Lee, go to on Twitter at Paramount Sports and go to the website, Paramount Sports. All right, Lee, let's start it off here. Let's go NFC first. We've got San Francisco, at least the line I've got right now. They're favored by 7.5. The over and under is at 46. I've seen a little 46.5, and I've seen some 45.5. But you tell me.
I think the total's tough. I think they got the total pretty dead on. So not going to take the total. I said when I was breaking down the Green Bay and Seattle game, these were pretty much 2 9-7 teams. These were not great teams. And you see, normally a good team like San Francisco, they would have put away that Seattle team if they had that kind of lead, and they were not able to do it. And Green Bay, and I just think that this team is improved a lot since last year. They improved, I think, like 6.5 games from the year before in their regular season record, but they're going to have a tough time. I mean, this San Francisco defense is something special. Everyone talks about, quarterback is the most important thing, but the second most important thing I look at is defensive line. And Green Bay's got a couple nice, edge rushers, but this San Francisco defensive line in front seven with Bosa, Reek Armstead, DeForest Buckner, D. Ford, who's recently back outside linebacker defensive end. Then there are also other outside linebacker, Quan Alexander. I just think that they're special. They control the game. Look at the first game. I mean, they were up at 1.23 to nothing in that game on the way to that 37-8 win. That was arguably Aaron Rodgers' worst game. So Garoppolo only needed 14 completion and 20 attempts in that game to amass 253 yards. I think this is the year of the tight end. I think when we look back, we're going to say the reason that San Francisco and the reason that Kansas City made it is you just can't stop this tight end. And I mean, look at last year. No one could stop Gronk. You can't stop these guys that are 6'5", 6'6", and can run like the wind. And you can't. A safety isn't fast enough and big enough, and the cornerbacks or whoever linebacker aren't fast enough. So I just think that just too much. I mean, just think that they throw to that tight end, they control the line of scrimmage with their offensive line. Give me San Francisco. I think they win this game something like 27-17, something like that.
All right, you got San Francisco minus 7.5. I'm with you. I like San Francisco in this game. I think Green Bay is going to have trouble protecting Aaron Rodgers in this one. I really do.
They did get a lot of guys back, their linemen, but you can tell if you watch them, they're not 100%. And Seattle just had absolutely no pass rush at all.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Kansas City is favored by 7.5 over Tennessee. The over and under, I've seen it at 53 or 52.5. You tell me.
So my first, you're looking at what you saw last week, and you're thinking, okay, Tennessee can probably hang here. Do you remember a good portion of the first game when they played each other?
Yeah, I think so.
Remember that game?
Yeah, I think so.
So a lot of people will say, okay, well, Tennessee won the game 35-32. But if you remember correctly, what happened was Kansas City is up in that game, and they're putting the nail in the coffin. Looks like they're going to go up 8 points in that game. They're up. And what happens? They get a field goal block, and they ended up going the other way, scoring the next drive, and Kansas City could have taken the game to overtime, and that field goal was blocked again. Also, I think it was actually I think the snap hit the holder in the helmet, but Kansas City was the better team. Now, what we saw in the game is Tennessee. If you look at the stats, they ran for 225 yards. A lot of people will bring that up, but Kansas City threw for 433, ran for 97. You don't see too many times when a team goes for almost 550 yards. They were the better team. They just didn't win the game. So sometimes you have an inside-out result. Now, they ran for 225. I mean, Henry ran for 181. He's the best running back. I just don't think they're going to be playing with the lead, which they're 15-1 when tied or leading at halftime, including 9-1 this year. I just don't see it. I don't see them leading this game. If they got to come from behind, I just don't think that they're going to be able to stop a team with just so many weapons. Travis Kelce, just like George Kittle for San Francisco, is special, unguardable. Tyreek Hill, unguardable. Their third and fourth guys, weapons at the receiver, McCole Hardman and Sammy Watkins would be probably number twos on those teams. So Tennessee also has some problems. Field goal kicking, just 8 for 18. I think Kansas City is the right side. They pull away late, 35-21.
Yeah, me too. And I think that if they do take that lead, then that's where I think Vrabel has done a masterful job of controlling the clock, controlling the possessions. But if you're now going to put the ball in Ryan's hands, which he doesn't do, he doesn't have Ryan throw 30-something, 40-something times.
No.
He has him controlled. That's where I think they get in trouble. And I hate to say it because I know everybody knows I pick on him all the time, but that's where he's going to get exposed, unfortunately. He has lived a charmed. Here's
why he's been successful.
By the way, he's lived a charmed season this year. Charmed.
But the reason they've been successful is they have the best running back in the NFL now by far.
Yeah.
I mean, Here's a guy 6'2.5", 245, runs a 4.540. It's like trying to stop a freight train. Right. And to give them credit, their first-year offensive coordinator has taken the input of Ryan and his receivers and his tight ends and tried to implement what they do best. So give them credit, whereas just trying to fit a round peg into a square hole, they have tried to make it work where everyone's featured doing their best things. And that's why what they have done has been impressive. And their defense is like playing at another level right now. It seems like the last couple of games, like they've known the plays before they started. So I'm not insinuating that there's a cheating scandal going on in football, but it's almost scary how good their scouting has been and their game plans for some of these offenses. Whereas last week, I'm also going to give you another play. Last week, everyone played two teams. I had so many friends, and I tried to talk them out of it. They played Tennessee. They played a two-team 6-point or 7-point teaser, figuring, hey, Tennessee's going to win the game, Kansas City's going to win the game, both 10-point favorites, and 9.5, 10 points. And what happens? One of them loses outright. During the NFL season, Big O, we've seen this. You'll have 3 or 4 games, 10-point favorites, larger. People play these 3-team 10-point teasers, and one of them loses, and that's why the public doesn't win. It's a teaser. They're trying to tease you. So everyone did that last week and got buried. I do think, though, that San Francisco and Kansas City are significantly better, and Kansas City learned their lesson. They will not get out to a slow start. I like a 2-team 6-point or 2-team 7-point teaser here. I think both those two teams are going to win the game. So all you got to do is win the game. So I'll lay. I'm going to do 3 equal wagers on both of them on the point spread, Kansas City, and also
San Francisco,
but also a 2-team 6-point teaser because I think both are going to win the game.
Wow. All right. There you go. And Lee, if they want to get a little insight on these games, and, of course, you know the baseball games that don't have cheating scandals, you can help them with that. How do they find out more?
Yeah, so we're on an incredible run right now in basketball, 19-4 run. So finding some totals that are off by 10, 20 points. We were playing the Big 12. I mean, in basketball, these teams weren't scoring for a while. Now they've started adjusting. So we're finding we know what these teams do in conference play. 19-4 run. You want to get involved for the rest of football or basketball, just go to ParamountSports.com or call us here at the office, 800-400-9741.
There you go. Lee Sterling. Follow them on Twitter at Paramount Sports and on the website, ParamountSports.com. Lee, thank you as always. You're a stud, my brother. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thanks, Big O. Have a good day.
You got it. There you go. The Hialeah Park Sports Investment segment with Lee Sterling this week. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. It's a beautiful thing. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. So he likes San Francisco. He likes the 2 favorites. 7.5.